Morning YouTube, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'm on the GoPro now rather than the phone, so hopefully you can hear me. Very quick one, trip coming up, which is going to be this video. Day trip to France with a good mate of mine, Steve, on the, if you can see that, on my new favourite motorcycle, the Scrambler. Let me spin the camera around so you can see it. Scrambler 400X. Got a Speedo Angel for it. I'm going to fit that to obviously keep that scratch free and in good condition because it is brand new. I've got a GoPro mount so I can mount a camera facing this way, but Stevie he's got loads of camera gear. He's got his own channel which I'll link somewhere in the description for this video, and you can follow his stuff. Hopefully he's going to take a drone and we'll bang some footage up. That should be good. But bit of an experiment. Pulled my phone out and I have done a GPT route. I basically waffled and said I wanted a route around France, see what it comes up with. Now I did turn it into a GPX file, but when I downloaded the GPX file, it didn't seem to be the same route. It was like sort of like straight lines everywhere. There wasn't following the twisty route. So what I've done is I've used my Route app and plotted. Let me turn the camera back around again. I'll talk to you all. Plotted the My Route app for the waypoints that were suggested in the ChatGPT route. So we're going to give that a go. Does ChatGPT come up with a decent route? We'll find out in a minute. Okay, right. Let's get the old Speedo Angel fitted. Pump the tyres up, stick some fuel in, and get ready for an early Channel Tunnel crossing. I think the crossing's like 7:20, and they've got a new thing now where you've got to book it an hour before or you lose your ticket. Basically the ticket's null and void. Ridiculous, but there you go. That's the shuttle for you. If it wasn't 10 minutes down the road, I'll be using the ferry because they're a little bit more forgiving. But the next time you see me, I should be on the trusty 400 heading down towards the Channel Tunnel. And let's see what the day brings, and let's see if ChatGPT works and my Route app. Let's give that a go because I've not used that properly before. We'll see if that works as well. Right, catch you in a bit. Well, fire the button, which I can now because I can see it. It's not attached to my helmet, which it will be in a few seconds. Right, ta-da. What you can see here that I've done, if I can just drop the screen down, is I've tried to use ChatGPT to plan a route for an upcoming trip. So the top that you can see there, plan a 200-mile twisty motorcycle route round trip for the Channel Tunnel via Saint-Omer to the Menin Gate. Now, obviously I hit send, and that's what ChatGPT came up with. Here's a scenic twisty motorcycle route, blah, 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 starting and ending at the Channel Tunnel via Ypres, covering approximately 200 miles. And obviously it tells you what it focuses on. Gives you a round trip overview. If I just scroll the screen up, which obviously says starts at the Channel Tunnel terminal at Coquel, via Saint-Omer, Cassel, Ypres, Mont-de-Cat and Boulogne, 200 miles. It says it should take 7 or 8 hours with breaks, and the type of terrain, twisty D roads. And then as you scroll down, it gives you a detailed clockwise loop. I guess you could run this anti-clockwise as well, but if you wanted to plan this on a map or via a different planning app, then obviously you can. So it gives you the road names, tells you where you're travelling through. So obviously stage 1 is Calais to Saint-Omer, Saint-Omer to Cassel, Cassel to Ypres and the Menin Gate. It does give you can see there, visit the Menin Gate and the Flanders Fields Museum. So it does give you different options. And obviously an optional stop at the Grand Place for a coffee in Montcassel. And then as we scroll down, the last section is Ypres to Boulogne, which I know that area where it takes you up through the coast, which is nice, and then Boulogne to the Channel Tunnel. Gives you various highlights, things you can do, and then asks you if you'd like a GPX file. I do want a GPX file, and I will add that, but it might have to be tomorrow because I was playing with this and I've used up my free options. So I will add on a little link to that if it does record a GPX file, but let's see what this does. It's quite interesting. I'll incorporate this into the video, and if you want to look at any of these routes, obviously you can freeze frame as I've scrolled through, and you can plan your own trip or try ChatGPT as I've done, and let's see what happens. Cheers. Comes the man, the myth, the legend, Stevie on his Triumph. And good morning YouTube, as you join me at about 0530, the 0 or the O standing for oh my god it's early. And we are at Tesco's in Ashford, just meeting up with Steve. I'm on the 400 and we're off to France for a day trip. Morning mate.
We're recording straight away.
You know it. Right, back in a bit. Right, join me at the tunnel. Play the game of finding a nice short queue. Oh, it looks good. This one looks good, doesn't it? Let's look at the slide down here. Oh, there's a bike at the front that's going to slow us down a little bit. Alright then, Channel Tunnel. Follow the instructions. Press the check-in. It then asks you for your card. You want to card your reference. So 9011367889. It's nice and easy, isn't it? When it presses 6, 7, 8, 9. Confirm. Come on. These touchpads aren't fantastic. You then have to wait. So I always stick it on a bit of tape. That's me. I don't have any pets travelling. Conventional petrol, diesel. Please wait. Your booking time. Yes, it is my booking time. First call will be in 45 minutes. Thank you very much. Departure hangar E. Prints it out. When it finally spits it out. Come on. I'll keep a clothes peg there. There we go. And then the trusty clothes peg clips that on there. And away we go. And it is as easy as that. And then obviously the terminal building is up there. Oh look, there's another clothes peg down there. What are the chances of that? Right, let's just wait for Stevie to sort his ticket out. And then we'll go grab a coffee. Back in a second. I will probably just film parking up just so that if you've never travelled you can see where you park the bikes. It might make the edit, it might not, because it is a bit boring, but let's see. Cheers. And we're a go. So when you leave the ticket booths, basically you just follow the road straight ahead. They have changed all this in recent years and they may change it again, but it is fairly straightforward. In fact, look, they're doing some building work already, but the main part of this route hasn't really changed for where you park bikes. So you carry on. There's a big old loop now which you have to follow. Previously you would have gone down there, but I think this building's going to be for when they finally introduce the fingerprints and the scanners and all that sort of stuff, which they haven't done yet. And then keep following it round. Keep following it round. And then basically you just heading into the car park. That's the back of the terminal building. There's Stevie, he's still there. straight through to the front of the building past the Tesla chargers. Is she going to cross? No, she's just going to stand there. And then right in front of you by that bin is the motorcycle parking in this little horseshoe, which is quite nice because it's close to the terminal. So I hope that's been helpful. I might obviously record as you head down to the train, but there's controls there, so I may not. But anyway, let's go grab a coffee. Right, we've had a lovely coffee, and now we're heading down to the control area, which is UK, well, I say it's not UK passport control because there isn't one this side. It's French passport control because it's juxtaposed controls, but you do have to go through the Eurotunnel. They call it Eurotunnel security part. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to flip my visor up, so obviously they don't see the cameras recording, and if it is anything that shouldn't be recorded, then I will obviously delete it, and I'm not going to post it. So we're through passport control, the old French, and then you as you head towards the lanes, you basically just stick to the right, and there is a dedicated little motorcycle lane. It just takes you onto other normal lanes, to be honest with you, but you may as well use it. And then you come through to a couple of geezers or girls that are going to tell you what lane they want you to go in. So let's get round to here. Is there going to be anyone there? No. So we just look for there's some motorcycles up there, so let's just join them. Normally you would wait for someone, but in the absence of someone being there, just look for the bikes, and all the bikes get loaded in one lot, normally at the end. So although it was a red lane, the standard thing is just to follow the motorcycles, and then we all get on the train at the same time. They normally call you down to the train, and then they hold you on the platform while they load all the cars and stuff, and then you get chucked on last, which is a pain in the arse, especially if it's raining. But once we get moving, I'll just hit the button so you can see getting on the train, see how you park, all that sort of stuff, and hopefully that'll be useful for someone. Catch you soon. Just a very quick addition: if it's raining, there's a motorcycle shelter over there, so you can park the bikes, jump in the shelter, keep out the rain. There you go, top tip of the day. Right, let's get on the train. Finally get rolling. Then basically all you do, see the green arrows up in the air, you follow the green arrows, and that takes you to a lane. And then as you see the lanes numbered along with the red X's, look for one with a flashing green arrow. So we are lane number 2. And alright, they're waving us past, and then you basically roll down. Sometimes they'll hold you on the edge of the platform. If they let the bikes down first, they'll hold you there forever anyway. So to be fair, it doesn't matter whether you wait at the top or you wait at the bottom. And then they'll load us onto the train. So this is quite normal, just sat here waiting. Once they get all the cars in and parked, that's when they'll pull us forwards. Right, so we've got the call, rolling forwards. When you get on the train, you stick to the right hand side. So you stay on the right, and then when you get up to where the old boy wants to park you, you basically hang a left, and you stick your front wheel against the opposite, I suppose, curb. You could call it a curb, couldn't you? And then you leave the bike in first gear. That's the idea anyway. So obviously then the bike doesn't move. God, those Harleys stink. So as you can see, he's putting us all forward, and then just popping us in. Cheers, mate. There you go, so. And that's it. And then you get the luxury of basically doing what that fella's doing, taking a seat. Right, back in a bit. Right, so a quick 36-minute crossing and we're coming off the train. Being on the bikes, you don't really need to get your stuff ready too early because it does take a little while for all the doors to open, all the cars to start moving. And especially if you're on a Harley like the bloke up front, you choke the rest of the queue out. And then literally you are off the train, you get to the top of the ramp, turn right, and then you're on the exit road. And away we go. So let's get some good miles. Steve's behind me. And I'll catch you all with his little horn, and we'll catch you all later. Yeah, 1939-1945 museum, which is probably no less than, or no more than about 20 minutes from the train. We've already gone past the Todd Battery, which is on the road to Wimereux, which is worth a visit. There's a massive great gun there that was on rails that they used to wheel out to, I guess, fire over the channel towards us, the poxy Germans. But there you go. Right, so Steve's behind me. We got our headsets running. Oh, we're turning left just up here, and this should start to take us out onto the smaller roads once we get past this wagon. So once we do, me and Steve are going to do a little bit of filming, and I've got the camera set up to film him behind. So let's chat when we get onto the small roads. So a little run down the coast. We just entered Boulogne, and there's a big aquarium there, which apparently is really good. So obviously if you come down with your kids or whatever, and you fancy a bit of a day, you can do that. There was a bit of kite surfing or land yachting. I think Steve worked out what it was called, where you're on a buggy with a wing on the beach, and there's a nice big open beach there by the port, which looks quite good. So we should be out of Boulogne in the next few minutes. We have had a bit of a detour, full transparency. My route that I plotted was a clockwise route, and we started off anti-clockwise. I did wonder why it was trying to turn me round. So there you go, every day is a school day. Make sure when you plot a route that goes clockwise or anti-clockwise that you follow it. So loads of school kids, school trip. I can hear Steve's horn in my... We got an intercom running today so we could waffle, so Steve gets to hear my shite as I chat it. With his little bulb horn. But yeah, it's a port. Right, switch this off, let's get to some twisties. I'll bung it back on. Back in a sec. You join us again cruising with a little bit of sun on a beautiful French D road. This is D341 from Boulogne basically towards Saint-Omer, which is where we're going to stop for a quick coffee, a little brew, and just have a quick look at the maps. Something to eat maybe and crack on. We got all day, which is nice. You plot a route, gives you plenty of time, loads of buffer time to sit and have a drink somewhere, watch the world go by, and be flat out back to the train. We're sort of averaging, I don't know, 50 miles an hour, something like that, cruising along. It's perfect for this, running the bike in. It's nice. Hopefully the sun will come out because there is still a chill in the air. We're both quite glad we've got thermal layers on because it was chilly this morning. Right then, you may join me again shortly when hopefully it will be a little bit more brutal, you never know. In a minute. Right, we just stopped for a lovely little coffee and a pain au chocolat in this village. Don't know where we are. We're still riding, so it doesn't really matter, does it? That's the beauty of being on a motorcycle on a sunny day without the constraints of time and stuff, is you can just stop where you want. And we did see a group of bikers coming out of the town, so we thought we'd go back and have a look. So we went back into the town as well, and guess what? Everything was shut. And then we found this one little coffee stop, which was nice. So we're carrying on now. Got plenty of riding to do. Steve's upsetting the neighbours with his noisy Triumph, which you can probably hear. And let's get back out on the twisties and enjoy a beautiful sunny day in France now it's warmed up. Catch you soon. You can't find it. And we're back after our lovely little coffee stop. We're up to speed now, it's 50 miles an hour. He's racing away, Stevie. You'll have to slow down a bit, mate. I think he's forgotten that I'm running the bike in. So we're just about to enter another little village, so I just pull up beside Steve with his trendy Triumph hat flapping in the wind on his T120 Bonneville Black Edition. Look at that, looking cool. See, I'm just in my normal Gore-Tex stuff. Steve's in his trendy stuff. We're straight over the roundabout here, mate. That's the handy thing about having an intercom, is obviously we can talk about where we're going. So we're going towards Cassel. And Steve's up front for a little while. Looking cool with his drop-down bar rim mirrors. And his little satchel on the side. See, I can talk, but he can't talk back to me. You might not be able to hear him probably going, shut up. Brown seat, got to have a brown seat. Right, enough of my piss taking. As I can't really take the piss when I'm on this, can I? So we're going to crack on. We'll keep going. It is, what are we, 20 past 11, so we've got plenty of time now to get some miles done before a lunch stop, when we'll probably stop off for a cheeky little baguette somewhere, another little coffee, before we carry on towards the Menin Gate. So I might do a little bit of footage of just some riding stuff in a little bit without my waffle. Let's see how we get on. The chances are I'll probably will chat. New houses. Oh, look at that. That's just what you want, a pool in your back garden next to a main road. Yeah. Anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's crack on with Steve in front. Get some miles done. Back in a bit. Thought I'd do a very quick chat about the app. I don't know if you can see this. This is the My Route app. And at the top it's got this roundabout, which we are now travelling over. But below it there's a smaller display for, it's just disappeared, it's gone on to the next fuel stop, which was the next roundabout in a few K, and I quite like that. But obviously now we've gone over that roundabout, it's telling us 5.3k, we're taking the first exit, the next roundabout, which is the D944, but below it there's a fuel station icon. Now I'm not going to press it, but I'm probably going to hazard a guess that if you press that it would then redirect you to that roundabout. And then at the bottom of the screen we've got a real-time speedo with 110 limit, we're doing 80, and then the road number, I don't know if you can see that, how long left we've got riding, 2 hours 41 minutes now, and 150k to go, but obviously we've got plenty of time for stops and breaks. So far My Route app is cracking. I thought you were a dual carriageway, as I said, I think I said this on the intro to this video, the GPX file didn't look quite right, so I did manually input all the waypoints onto the map, and I obviously didn't zoom out enough for that part, because we just probably did maybe 10 miles of dual carriageway, so that's probably going to be operator error. But we're back onto the smaller French roads now. Roads get a little bit busier, but what are we? We're creeping up towards lunchtime, but still nothing like the UK. Me and Steve were just chatting, saying if this was the UK, it'd be nose to tail with, HGVs and what have you, whereas this is literally just cruising through the French countryside, watching the world go by. Sun keeps coming out, which is lovely. Weather's warming up. Got a couple of vents open on our jackets. We did talk about maybe taking the thermal layers out, but it's still a little bit of a chill in the air, so maybe that will be a bit later. But so far so good. So yeah, as you can see now, 3k to the next roundabout, and it's now saying 4.1 kilometres to travel straight on. But yeah, My Route app, I think it's about £3 something a month, or you can buy it as a fixed fee for lifetime membership, which I may do. I'll have a play with this when I get back to the UK
and see if it does plot decent round routes, because that's what I'm really missing once the Tom Go Ride app died off. I wanted something that you could just do a round route of 50 miles, hit select on a twisty route, and it would just give you a route. Calamoto probably does that, but doesn't give you the option to have a play with it. This does give you that, so stay tuned and all that rubbish, and I'll let you know how I get on with this. But hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. This screen does throw it up in my face a little bit, and I have cut my dead cat down a little bit for the mic because it's tickling my face. Anyway, we're riding still. The day is good. Back in a bit. 7. Oh, as he says, running into the storm drain. Oh, well, you don't see many of them about, especially in France. Anyway, little, yeah, Le Lombard. Lombard? I don't know. No idea, mate. Anyway, right, back in a sec. Welcome to Belgium. Yeah, welcome to Belgium. Now everything changes language-wise. Zonnebeke, Centrum. Well, Centrum's quite easy because that's the centre normally, but we're in Leper. So if my hand falls off and my fingers fall off, you know why. It's like a big old castle in front of us. Leper Castle. 1 minute I'm a leper with a trade, next minute you're cured, my son. Put in a comment if you know what film that's from. Oh, there's a big, that's a moat. Oh, military cemetery over there. What is it? Rampart Cemetery, there you go. The little gate. Oh, this looks nice. Probably a nice place for a few beers in an evening. Apart from the cobbles. Everyone, who doesn't like Belgium cobbles? Or who doesn't love Belgium cobbles? Me! For one. Oh, that's smoother. We'll take the cycle path. See, at least they give the push bikes an easy time. But yeah, Leper. What a nice little place. Back in a bit. On a one-way street, but there's a very big, I don't think you can see it in the mirror, just above Steve there, all the stone pillars, huge Commonwealth War Memorial with a cemetery. So in Leper, well worth probably stopping at. So unfortunately we're heading the other way at the moment, but another place to look at if you're on a trip and you've got plenty of time to spare. But as I say, we're heading out of Leper, on towards Ypres. I don't know if you can hear Steve's bike in the background there. And I don't know if you're about to hear Steve, because there's been a couple of times where I've been waffling and it sounds like I'm talking to myself. The old two-finger salute, but in a good way, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know what my mic picks up. I'll find out when I get to listen to this. Right, catch you in a bit. As we pull out of Leper, just the My Route app has, even though we're in France, we are just into an average speed check here of 90 kilometers an hour, and it has come up 90 kilometers an hour with a couple of little radar symbols. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. So far so good. I'm really impressed with this. I know it's like £3 a month, but I'm really impressed. It's going well. I might well do a full video of how I find this and how it's been on this trip another time, where I use it around some local lanes, plot a couple of weird routes, play with changing waypoints on the move and all that sort of stuff, because I'm learning as I'm going along. But so far so good. It's a very good app, so it's recommended at the moment. Unless something falls over, this might be my new app. We'll find out soon. We just stopped for fuel, and we're going to stop and have a little bit of a drink and some chocky. Steve just commented that it might be a little bit tight for parking. Yeah. Look at this, we've got our own bays. We've got a Triumph bay each. Life doesn't get any better, does it? It's sunny, we're out riding. Hey, let's go get something to eat. YouTubes, we're back we're back. Look, obviously you can see the cameras off of the bike. Steve's getting his kit on. Now you might have noticed, those of you that are quite observant, that Leper that we went through probably about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, about 20 minutes ago.
Lovely place.
Lovely place. Big war memorial. Well, it seems to be that was the Menin Gate, and I've not been to the Menin Gate before. I've still not been to the Menin Gate. That might be in a future video, so I want to surprise everybody by not giving it all away on one trip. That's right, isn't it, Steve?
That was it. That was the plan.
That was the plan. We were going to ride straight past it like a couple of idiots, and then when we stopped for a cold drink and checked the map, realised we'd gone right through Ypres. Anyway,
But you could have bought a nice lighter.
I could have
represented Marilyn Monroe or Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis lighter.
But you possibly did.
So if you come into this little petrol station, Shell petrol station, Marilyn Monroe lighter or Elvis lighter, take your pick. Both was as appealing as the other. Other stars were available, as Steve points out. So we're going to take this opportunity now to carry on riding. We're going to find some little roads. Steve's going to get his drone up, and hopefully you'll see some really nice arty footage of us riding our Triumph motorcycles, Triumph Wens, down some lanes, rather than going to Ypres, because that was obviously always the plan from day one, was we would ride straight past it. Don't ask.
Looked nice.
It looked very nice.
I'd like to visit it one day.
We will visit one day. Not today, just another day. But the weather's improved, might even take some layers off. So, join us very shortly when we will be riding, which was the point of today, let's face it. The point of today was getting some miles in. It wasn't necessarily visiting places, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, best laid plans. Anyway, post comments below about how we were a couple of idiots. Well, not a couple, because I was leading. And feel free to give us a slagging. We deserve it. Catch you in a bit. So we're in France and we're just cruising through. Steve's got his 360 camera on the back of his bike, and what a beautiful day. Little tiny roads, perfect for the scramblers and the T120 as we're just popping down the lanes. We're thinking about maybe getting the drone up at some point, but we're just looking for somewhere suitable. We've got time to do it, as we've saved a bit of time by not bothering with the Menin Gate, as they say. So let's crack on these little lanes, which remind me a little bit over Romney Marsh. It was left here, Steve. Takes us back to the main road. And let's have a play. Right, back in a bit. That's what I always say, back in a bit, don't I? But it is back in a bit, because yeah, when you watch this footage, it is literally back in a bit. Right, back in a bit. Just getting his drone ready now. Picking a filter and all the fancy stuff involved. However, a theme of today, Steve's going to watch this and go, you bastard. That's the theme of the day today. Steve?
Yeah.
Your indicator's on, mate. Right, let's get this drone up, and what we're going to do is we're going to whiz up and down this little country lane and see what footage we can get. You might see some of it just after this, you might not. We'll find out in a second. Right then, bit of drone footage. You might have just seen it. If it doesn't work, you won't have seen it, but either way, it was definitely flying, but it was quite windy today, and it was quite a strong crosswind, so obviously that causes issues with tracking and keeping on the bike, but we'll find out. So we're now going to crack on, rejoin the route again, and head towards Coquel for the tunnel. So see you in a bit. Now there was a slight issue there. I didn't bother filming it because I know at speed on the motorway you probably can't hear me very well, but what actually happened was, because I didn't use the GPX route that ChatGPT suggested, because I plotted my own route, I actually made an error and I plotted a waypoint on the auto route. So it took us onto the péage. So we basically did one junction on the péage and pulled off, and then we're going back on the minor roads. So that was a bit of a lesson for me. So it wasn't an issue at all with the plotting of ChatGPT. It was a user error. It was me pressing the wrong button on my screen. So it is worth, when you do that, to zoom right out and make sure that you don't plot the auto route. But all's well that ends well. It's €1.50 to jump the junction, and we're back on the level roads, heading back down towards the tunnel. All is good with the world. See you in a sec. Back, and we are just creeping towards the entrance for the Channel Tunnel now, towards the ticket booths. And what a day it's been. Superb day. So what I will say is ChatGPT does give you a very good route. I've not been disappointed in that at all. We've had some lovely roads. The only issues have been where I put it into the My Route app and got it wrong. So any times we've hit dual carriageways, etc., have all been due to user error. So I've got to say, I think that ChatGPT is a success and My Route app is a success. We've done maybe what have we done? Probably 20 or so miles on dual carriageways, and then maybe 10 or so miles on the péage. So let's check in and I'll be back with you shortly. Right, I'll find the button. Right, welcome back. We are at the Channel Tunnel terminal in France, and there have been delays. We managed to not sneak through, because we did ask someone if we could go, and she said yes you can, even though we were letter F. So we've jumped in with a load of other bikes to in fact, even despite the delays, well, it's windy, despite the delays, we're on an earlier train than we would have been on. So I'm not going to complain about that at all. So I will just sum up today though. It has been an absolutely cracking day of riding for myself and Steve, and we did catch up with the other guys who I was due to ride with if I obviously hadn't been running this in, and they had a great day too. So success all around. We did, if I just slow down here, what did that say? That said, bear with me, 206.4 miles, and I know when I get off the train I've got 12 miles home, something like that. So add a little bit extra, we get about 220 miles, which has been some cracking running in miles on this today, and it has been thoroughly enjoyable. Hopefully there'll be some footage, some drone footage and stuff like that, but it depends on how well we get it edited, because Steve's going to send me some footage and we'll have a bit of a play with it. So if there's no drone footage, I apologise, but hopefully there will be. The app has been absolutely spot on. What is going on there? Bear with me. I think they're sending us all down here. Yeah, the app that I used, My Route app, was absolutely perfect. I've got to say, it's my new favourite app. It worked really, really well. I will have a play with it when I get home, and I'll try and do a proper video, if you know what I mean. Well, proper, you know what my videos are like. Be as proper as it gets. And his bloody Corsa rattling away. I keep telling him it's broken. But I will try and do a proper video of the app, using it day to day, see how we get on. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe, subscribe and all that usual YouTube rubbish. And I'll see you on the next episode. Take care everyone. If you're riding, stay safe. If you're not riding, watch rubbish videos. But hey, when the weather's like this, there's no excuse not to ride, is there? Jump on your bikes with your mates, go out riding, enjoy life. Catch you all soon, cheers.